Good morning and welcome to our weekly media briefing and public health update with Montgomery County Executive Mark Elledge. I am Lorna Virgili, Hispanic Public Information Officer, and joining us today is Mr. Sean O'Donnell, Assistant Chief of Public Health Services with the Department of Health and Human Services. And our guests today, we have four: Mr. Mike Shuffle, who is the Director of the Office of Agriculture; Marty Zvercek, who is Executive Director for the Montgomery County Agricultural Fair; Genevieve Augustine, who is the Director of Legal Services for the Central American Resource Center, Caresen; and Evans Fossing, who is the CEO for the Caribbean Help Center. Thank you for joining us, Mr. County Executive. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and thank you everybody for being here. So, fun things in Montgomery County. The County Agricultural Fair begins this Friday and runs through Saturday, August 22nd. I wanted to thank our agricultural community for all the work it takes to get the fairgrounds ready for these crowds. That's 1,000 volunteers and about 30,000 hours of community service to get everything ready for the place to have the fair. By now, many people know that the fair features live entertainment, livestock exhibits, and agricultural displays. Others may go for the fair food, that's a fair thing to do, or carnival rides, but every visit promises family-friendly entertainment. And that includes families whose children are sensitive to loud sounds and flashing lights. So this year, the organizers are blocking off Monday morning for rides and games to be operated without loud music or distracting visuals. Vendors inside and outside the carnival areas will be asked to apply the same rules to their booths as well. And these changes are going to last on Monday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So if you've got a child or you're somebody who needs to not be around loud noises and, I guess say distractive visuals, Monday morning would be your time to go there. General admission is $18 at the gate, but kids 11 and under get in for free every day. Montgomery County stands out as a place where agriculture is still valued, even as the nation evolves and expands, and our region is evolving and expanding. Our agricultural reserve, established in 1981, covers 93,000 acres, includes more than 900 farms and businesses. It's become a nationally recognized model for farmland preservation, and it continues to contribute to our economy, agritourism, environment, and overall quality of life. And thanks to the county leaders who decided to protect this land decades ago, northern Montgomery County avoided the urban sprawl seen in nearby Loudoun and Frederick counties. During my administration over the past 8 years, we've worked diligently to preserve our farms and agricultural heritage. And I'm continuing to pursue a plan to close the waste incinerator in Dickerson. And we've recently moved toward reopening White's Ferry by taking control of the land and the ferry on our side of the river in order to speed up negotiations with Virginia officials. We're in a lot better position than we were before, and it's pretty clear that folks in Virginia would like to figure out how to solve this problem. However, I'm especially proud of efforts to expand economic opportunities through growing the agritourism industry. Crossvines is a prime example. Now in its third year, it began from a simple conversation about competing with Virginia wineries. Today, Crossvines wins awards for its wine, boasts a world-class culinary team at its famous Farmhouse Bistro restaurant, and offers an event space that earned Wedding Wire's Couple Choice Award for Best Wedding Venues. Last month, Wine Enthusiast, which is a famous wine magazine, recognized the Chef's Counter at Burnt Hill Farm in Clarksburg as one of the top winery restaurants globally. Only 13 in the U.S. earned this distinction. Burnt Hill was also previously named one of America's most beautiful vineyards to visit by Food and Wine. This year's 77th County Fair gives us plenty to celebrate, commemorating our nation's 250th anniversary and our county's 250th anniversary. And the Ag Fair theme this year is Born in the USA, which sounds a lot like Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA, so I'll go with that. This week, I'm happy to welcome Mike Shuffle, the Director of the Office of Agriculture, to talk a bit about who is running the fair and what role agriculture plays in our county. And thank you for being here, Mike.
Thank you, County Executive. We appreciate the time. It's always nice to have agriculture talked about, particularly this time of the year with Marty and the County Ag Fair. Obviously, as the Montgomery County Agricultural Fair agriculture farming is in the forefront of this. It's a great opportunity not only for farmers and the youth to show what they're doing with their 4-H projects, but it's also a great opportunity for folks of the county to see just how awesome our farmers are. So the county executive talked about his leadership in farmland preservation. We were excited when the county executive signed Executive Order 159-25 this past October. That executive order sent a new base price for some of the easement programs that we offer. And I'm proud to report, based on this new base price on the executive order, we have recently, as a county, accepted and will be finalizing 3 building lot termination easements here in the next couple weeks. So this program that the county executive was at the forefront of when it started in 2009, when he was with the council then, this is an actual rooftop removal easement program. So a landowner is getting paid to not build. We're actually getting rid of rooftops in our ag reserve. Am I able to share my screen? I want to talk just a little bit more specifically about some of our farmland preservation efforts. If not, that's fine too.
No, go ahead.
All
If you can share it.
You
Thank
should
you.
have it now.
Thank you. Are we seeing my screen? All right, so when the county executive talked about the creation of the ag reserve, this is why it is so important that that legislative decision occurred. 1945 was when really suburbia, the residential boom occurred nationwide, but particularly around the nation's capital. You can see the amount of farm and farmland that existed then in 1981-82 with the creation of the ag reserve, and where we are today from our most recent USDA agricultural census information. If not for this policy decision back in 1980 and 81, there would be no farmland left in Montgomery County. This is the decision that allows agriculture to exist in the way that we know and love it today. As Mark, county executive said, the creation of the ag reserve did exactly what's on your screen. It created 93,000 acres for the preferred and primary land use to be agriculture in this area, created a transfer development right program, which moved development from up county to down county where the infrastructure exists. And we offer even more protections for our farmers and rural landowners when we require that any real estate sold within or directly bordering the ag reserve must have a real estate disclosure stating just that you live in farmland, and sometimes living near farms, it's loud and it can be a little smelly. Last but not least, I wanted to share the efforts that this county has done. To date, we have roughly 77% of the ag reserve protected by some form of easement. That is over 72,000 acres that are permanently protected through our county's programs or our state programs. So that's just a little bit of information I wanted to share. So thank you, County Executive.
Thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Do we want to talk about the agricultural fair now? Or do we take questions regarding cultural serve? So I see Kate Ryan has her hand up. Okay, Kate, can you wait for a second so we can have Marty speak regarding the fair? Thank you. We'll take a question in a minute.
Marty can't speak until he has his fair hat on. This is very important, and I know this is a serious meeting, but I figured that Bruce Springsteen had to make a showing.
At the least.
Here we are. Mark, I'm sorry we couldn't get him to come this week. He was busy, but nonetheless, he'll be here in spirit. This will be, of course, as you may know, our 77th fair. We have lots of opportunities for children and parents. Kids 11 and under are free every day. We have for the 250th celebration, we'll be decked out with buntings. We'll have our Veterans Day, of course, will be as in place as it has been in the past. We're bringing in 2 rodeos, cultural icons in this country that have gone back for centuries. Monster truck show, demolition derbies. There's probably right now 800 to 1,000 animals will be here. And this year, for whatever reason, we're experiencing a growth in animal displays. Our beef department will have 140 entries. We haven't seen that in over 15 years. So it's good to see agriculture on the climb. We have all kinds of food, as you know. Go to mcagfair.com and see what's going on there. International foods include Chinese. We're going to have Mexican. Straits Fine Foods will be doing Greek food. So there's plenty of opportunity for anybody who wants to come to the fair and have a good time.
I trust that there are still Italian sausages covered with onions and green peppers.
I think I got your order. It's going to be delivered before this meeting is over.
All right, gentlemen. Members of the media, questions regarding the agricultural reserve as well as the agricultural fair. Kate Ryan, WTOP, there you go.
Thank you so much. Talking about agriculture, a lot of us are learning a whole lot about agriculture thanks to the oocytes and cyclospora, etc. I am wondering if people are turning to their locally produced produce and farms in order to, not only get away from whatever recalls might be out there, but also to discover that this food is available right in our backyards. Is it? How? And are you seeing that trend? Are you seeing people go, you know what? I'm headed to the farmer's market. I want to learn more about the individual farms in my backyard.
Yeah, buying local seems to be a pretty popular trend right now. We'll have Butler's Orchard here at our fair for the entire 9 days. And yeah, they do a really good business. And I agree with you. The buy local, get away from processed food trend is going to continue, I'm certain, till long after I'm not here.
Mike, do you have any comment on that?
Sure, thank you, Kate. Just what Marty said, the agricultural economy, while influenced by global issues, is strong in Montgomery County. Farmers that offer their products at an on-site farm market or at farmers markets continue to see their business grow, even outside of the cyclospora issues that occurred here not too long ago. But yes, it's a great opportunity for the farmers to show their wares, to show that locally grown food is delicious and our farmers are really good at growing it.
Thank you very much. And can I backtrack on Marty about the fair itself? Monday's event, doing this low sensory experience for families. How did that come about?
It's an interesting, the way the fair is organized, we take a lot of input from our volunteers, and we have, I don't know, I think Mark said maybe 1,000 volunteers that help put the fair on annually. I have a paragraph here that came from the city of Gaithersburg, because they are the ones that partnered up with us to make this sensory piece work. And it says the space is designed for anyone who may benefit from a temporary reduction in sensory stimulation. This includes, but isn't limited to, individuals with ASD, ADHD, anxiety disorders, those who become overstimulated. So we not only have the fair, a carnival, and the rest of the fair operations shutting down noises, we've provided a whole sensory space inside our Chile Mall where folks can go and find the kind of support that they might need because they're in the environment that we provide.
That's really interesting. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Excellent. Members of the media, any additional questions regarding the agricultural reserve and or the fair?
Well, before we turn off and move on, Monday and Wednesdays are the 2 best days to come to the fair. Ride wristband, you can ride all day for $25. It's a super deal. It's almost half price. So if folks are interested in carnival rides, those are the days to save money.
Did you say Monday and Tuesday?
Monday and Wednesday.
And Wednesday. I'll go. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that promotion. No more questions regarding this topic, members of the media? Okay, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today. You may go if you need to. Otherwise, you can remain on this call. Mr. County Executive, other topics.
Okay, back to less pleasant things. We're going to talk a little bit about the loss of TPS for Haitians in Montgomery County and the effects it's having. As I noted a few weeks ago, Montgomery County is home to thousands of Haitian families who work, raise children here, run small businesses, and contribute to our community every single day. For many, it's been more than 16 years since they were granted permission to come to the United States and start new lives. They were here because of political unrest, by the way, largely created by American history and its involvement in Haiti over a period of decades, gang violence, also attributable to what we did, or that devastating earthquake that killed more than 200,000 people, which had nothing to do with us. Late last month, the federal government announced the indiscriminate termination of temporary protected status, also known as TPS, for Haitian residents. The decision has real immediate consequences for our neighbors, and we're already seeing the impact on the ground. To help us understand what that impact looks like, I wanted to introduce two people who are doing this work every day. First is Genevieve Augustine, Director of Legal Services at the Central American Resource Center, CARECEN, who works directly with families navigating the legal fallout from these changes, and also Reverend Evans Faustin, CEO of the Caribbean Help Center, who sees firsthand how this is affecting families, congregations, and the broader Haitian community here in the county. According to the news today, and maybe our guests can enlighten us on this, the immediate deportation order is being applied only to those who lost TPS and had a final removal order. As of this morning, they may not be arresting people based only on loss of TPS status, but I'll turn to the two of you to give us perhaps a more accurate or thorough update on that. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. I guess I'll start with that news. So yeah, my name is Genevieve Augustine. I'm with the Central American Resource Center. While we are headquartered in DC and have an office in PG County, we've been providing services to Haitians through our liaison with the Montgomery County Caribbean Liaison Office. So for the past 3 years, we have been working with Haitian immigrants in the county, providing monthly workshops. In the monthly workshops, we gave them Know Your Rights presentations, talked to them about their responsibilities here in the United States, and we provided free consultations and free legal services. These are people who were in the United States lawfully. These are people who entered with lawful paroles or who came here and got TPS. They, as has been stated, they have contributed so much to the economy. And I think what's happening, because we really don't know what caused the directive of not to immediately deport those who didn't have orders. But there's a big outcry in the community because, for example, Haitians are very dominant in the healthcare professions, and people just don't know who's going to help take care of people. Like, for example, the home health aides and everything. People are in a panic, like who is going to take care of all the people, who is going to step in the shoes and fill the roles that Haitians have been filling. And the same thing with the hospitality industry. So right now you have the businesses going crazy because they are about to fall apart. And we already have seen signs of restaurants and unable to stay open with the sudden loss of work permits. So the only thing that we can guess, because this directive was given without any type of explanation, is that they're beginning to understand that taking away the status of over 300,000 people who were greatly contributing to the economy is going to really hurt the economy. So that's what we think is going on here. We don't know how long it will last. And it's also an example of how inconsistent things have been, because at the same time as the administration was saying that it's okay, they're ending TPS because it's okay for people to go back to Haiti now, the State Department was reporting Haiti as a level 4 do not travel. So all these things coming together, I think there's a lot of awareness right now in the public of how difficult it's going to be to the economy to lose all of the Haitians that were here contributing to it under TPS. And so that's what I think is happening right now.
Thank you, Ms. Osteen. Mr. Reverend Faustin, would you like to have some remarks, comments?
Yes, my name is Reverend Evan Faustin, and I'm the Executive Director of Caribbean Help Center. Caribbean Help Center is a nonprofit organization that provides assistance to county residents, including immigrants from Caribbean and African community, with a social service support program that include emergency services, food distribution, employment support, linkage to healthcare, social services, entitlement program, translation, including French and Haitian Creole speaking residents. What can we say about TPS and the deportation situation of its holder? First, the TPS category. There are three types of TPS. One, the 2010 after the earthquake in Haiti. Two, the Biden programs under the name of humanitarian parole for a duration of 2 years. At the end of this program, President Biden had given them a way to apply for TPS. Three, those who had worked and crossed the border, they were able to enter the country with asylum status and then participate in the TPS program. The effect of the TPS termination. This situation creates a human shock. It's like another earthquake. This time, human earthquake, a tsunami in the community. This situation creates fear, anxiety, and uncertainty about what is really going to happen. The situation is simple. People under TPS status have two choices: stay locked up at home or go back home to Haiti, because many have automatically lost their job. Many are forced to quit their job out of fear of being caught by ICE, either at work or on their way to work. Consequences. We must not forget that this termination only concerns adults. There are children, young people who are included. Children who won't be able to go to school because their parent will be afraid to send them. And if they do, and ICE catches them at home, when the child come back from school, there will be no parent to welcome them. It should be also noted that these are people who have contributed to this economy. They bought houses and pay taxes. They bought cars that they won't be able to drive now because their driver license are also canceled. These people are now exposed to all kind of abuse, unable to work. They will be forced to accept all kind of blackmail of low-paid jobs. Second, unable to go out. They will have to ask friends for help to buy food or other necessities. Third, they will be forced to rely on churches, organizations, and institutions to get help. But for how long can this institution will provide these helps? We can easily ask ourselves, how will they pay their rent? How will they go to the market? In case of illness, they might be afraid to go to the hospital for medical care for fear of being exposed and be prey to attackers. Fourth, they are afraid to drive or take the bus. Are they going to pay for their car insurance, etc.? So they find themselves in two difficult situations. As I said before, facing the chaos in the United States or facing deportation to Haiti. As far as I know, up to date, the Haitian government has no concrete plan to welcome 300,000 immigrants, even though they say otherwise. That's basically the situation, and it's very, 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 very scary.
Thank you very much for those remarks. Members of the media, do you have any questions regarding TPS, Haitian community, for our guests? Please raise your hands. Kate Ryan, WTOP. Go ahead, Kate.
Hi, I'm wondering, do we have a rough number of how many people are affected by this particular order who live in either the DMV or specifically Montgomery County? And Ms. Augustin, you mentioned the healthcare industry. Do you have area hospitals or area medical centers who are saying, we're in trouble here, this is going to be a problem?
Unfortunately, I don't have the numbers of the people in that are specifically in this area. I do think it is available. I think they do have the breakdown by numbers, and I can look that up for you and see. Um, as far as, I mean, so I happen to be a Haitian person, and just anecdotally, like all of my cousins are doctors, nurses, and so and they were born here, but they are like everyone is talking about in the community how assisted living homes, like places like that, like Haitians are taking care of people in assisted living homes. Haitians are nurses. Haitians are CNAs. I had the most tragic story. There was someone who called us for help. She came to the United States when she was about 5 years old. She had TPS. She is a nurse practitioner. She has now lost TPS. And she, like, what's she going to do? She's 30 years old now. Okay. Um, she was a nurse practitioner. Imagine how much she's contributing to our society right here. And now she has to leave. She literally has no other way to stay here. And so she has to leave. So if you think about all the people that came here at a very young age and have spent their entire lives here, this particular girl has never even been to Haiti. She was born in another country that didn't have birthright citizenship. So she is literally going to be deported or have to return to a country that she's never been to. When she was born and raised, when she was raised in the United States, she was educated in the United States, and she is contributing. So there are plenty of these stories everywhere. We are actually putting together a stories list so that people can really hear the voices of the people who are affected by this. And the thing is that many of them do not want to say so publicly because they're so afraid of, getting on a Zoom call or making a presentation so that they don't become a direct target of ICE. So we're putting the stories together, and we'd be happy to share those, but they're very sad stories, and it's just really a terrible situation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Members of the media, any additional questions for our guests this afternoon? No more questions? Thank you so much for joining us. You can remain on this media briefing if you like to, but if you need to depart, feel free to do so. Mr. County Executive, other topics?
Yeah, thank you both for being here today. I think it's good for people to hear kind of firsthand what's happening on the ground and what the impacts are going to be. So thank you for being here, and thank you for all the work you do. And another, difficult topic, I want to extend my sympathy to many families here in Montgomery County who are worried about loved ones in Columbia. A powerful earthquake struck there just 2 days ago, leaving many dead or missing. Our hearts are with families who've lost loved ones, who are injured, and everyone who's facing very uncertain days ahead. For community members who wish to help, relief experts recommend contributing financially to established organizations, as on-the-ground challenges make it difficult to deliver donated goods. Trusted organizations providing aid include the Catholic Relief Services and the International Organization for Migration. In moments like these, every dollar entrusted to experienced relief partners can make a meaningful difference. So please share this information with your audience. People there really are going to be needing help. In a few hours, I'm going to be off to the Eastern Shore of Maryland for the Maryland Association of Counties Summer Conference. Over 8 years as a county executive, I value MACO's resources and advocacy, as well as relationships formed with peers statewide. MACO's nonpartisan approach highlights how Montgomery County's issues often mirror those in other jurisdictions. Regardless of size or politics, the organizations play a key role in uniting counties to address shared challenges. And I've got to say, having served at MACO, we are from a couple of different political parties. We don't always agree, but the fact is we work together more than we don't work together. So there's an awful lot that unites us, and it's kind of nice to see at a more local level, the ability for people to talk about local problems and kind of reach common ground on how we should address them. So it's kind of a good example of what could work in government and might be a nice example at the federal level. I'm not holding my breath, but at least, I've been working in a space where you can actually see that it works. I'm grateful for MACO's support with the General Assembly on reforms that benefit county operations, especially regarding the property tax rate differential legislation. This is legislation that would have enabled us to set different residential and commercial property rates, similar to what's permitted in neighboring regions. DC does it, and the Northern Virginia counties do it. Unfortunately, our councils refuse to support this legislation, which, unlike the district and Northern Virginia counties like Fairfax, has left us unable to adequately fund transportation infrastructure projects, which is a big problem when you think about our economic competitiveness. In Virginia, the major transportation projects they undertake are often funded by bonds supported by taxes on commercial property only, something we can't legally do here. That has created a large revenue stream in Virginia that does not come from residents, and that stream does not exist in Montgomery County. The council over the last 3 years, when there was a bill that they could have supported, hasn't even been willing to have a discussion at the council and vote on whether or not they would support the bill. And the bill wouldn't have required us to do anything. It just would have enabled us to do something. I'm hoping that, different council and some better thinking about how we need what to do to raise taxes in order to be competitive, that it actually has an effect going forward and that we can be successful. But I can tell you it's going to require a united front from the county executive and the county council if we're going to hope to get this through the legislature. Hopefully, the year ahead will bring some changes. Other news and confusion. We'll be talking about Donald Trump and Kennedy, so that makes sense. I want to talk about another development this week that's not only horrible, but terrible timing. This week, Trump signed an executive order initiating a major change to the childhood vaccine recommendations. This is something that the American Academy of Pediatrics immediately came out against, encouraging patients to rely on pediatricians on vaccine recommendations and not the White House or Secretary Kennedy. Nobody should go to the White House or Secretary Kennedy for medical advice. The Maryland Department of Health is also on record coming out against the new directive tied to Trump's executive order. This is the Immunization Awareness Month because it's important for children to be up to date on their vaccines as we start another school year. It is not a good time to send mixed messages and confuse parents. I want to remind the media to rely on trusted sources who follow the science behind vaccines, not the people who come to their own conclusions based on a warped sense of reality. To be blunt, medical advice coming from Trump or Kennedy should probably be ignored as devoid of any evidence to back it up. Before we open it up to questions, I'd like to give my staff an opportunity with any updates they'd like to share, and I'll start, as usual, with our health team.
Thank you, Mr. County Executive. Just wanted to share today that, yes, as you mentioned, U.S. states set their own school requirements for vaccines. And Maryland has established that their requirements are based on guidance from the American Academy of Pediatricians and the American Academy of Family Physicians. So there's been no change to the recommendations for back-to-school vaccines. HHS is continuing to do back-to-school vaccine clinics at a number of locations. All of those are listed on our website. Of course, families are welcome to go to their pediatricians to get those shots as well. I also wanted to mention two other things in the news. Cyclosporiasis cases are beginning to slow down, indicating that the recalls are having a positive effect. Most of these cases have occurred outside Maryland. The cases that we have seen in Maryland are largely related to either international travel or travel to other states. We do have one new concern. We are seeing that some fresh jalapenos imported from Mexico are related to an ongoing salmonella outbreak. Again, the Taylor Fresh Foods has recalled products that have been sent out, including those sent to stores, including Kroger, Target, Trader Joe's, Walmart, and Whole Foods. So just raising that as a concern right now. But otherwise, we're glad to see that the cyclosporiasis cases again are beginning to be reduced. No other public health updates at this time, but happy to pass on to any of our other colleagues who might be here with updates.
Okay, I think you're the last one, Mr. O'Donnell. So members of the media, any additional questions for the county executive regarding other topics? Kate Ryan, go ahead.
And I thank you very much for Mr. O'Donnell. The fact that the Maryland State Department of Health put out their statement saying childhood immunization schedules do not change. We are sticking with the American Association of Pediatrics, I think it is, guidance, etc. How helpful is that to you? And what kind of, are you getting a lot of questions? I had questions, for example, from older folks who said, look, I can't remember if I had mumps. If kids are not getting their MMRs all in one, I'm worried about what happens to me down the line. What kind of questions are you getting, and what kind of guidance would you put out there?
Yes, so that's a good question. Again, the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine has been a single vaccine for a number of years now. And the great thing about that is you only need one shot to get protection from 3 very infectious diseases. People over a certain age, and at this point, it's largely seniors, are presumed to have been exposed to some of these diseases because they were so prevalent back then. If you cannot remember what your vaccine history is, we do encourage you can reach out to your provider, you can reach out to our immunizations team. I know when I was a child, these records were not all electronically based, and so it can be difficult to figure that out. But there are a significant number of vaccines that are recommended based on other ages. As you get older, there are recommendations once you hit 50 for the shingles vaccine, for example, and that's a 2-part vaccine. There's also recommendations for the pneumococcal vaccine. So again, it's hard to, in one soundbite, recommend all the vaccines for all the ages, particularly for those for newborns and young adults. But those sequences have been studied by the American Academy of Pediatricians and the American Academy of Family Practitioners and set out for a safe and effective course of receiving them over the course of those years. The same is true for vaccines that are recommended for our school-age kids, the updates that they need at those different ages. And so, again, that's all been well established. That has not changed in Maryland, has not changed in most areas. So we regret that there's been confusion based on some of the national messaging, but locally and across Maryland, across this region, there really has not been any change in those recommendations.
Gotcha. And a brief follow-up, the executive order calls for splitting the MMR. My understanding is that the people who make these vaccines don't have those. Those are not in the pipeline anywhere, correct? Would this mean having to reformulate? And again, I know you guys are in the business of getting the vaccines that are available. What's the implication there?
No, you're correct. They're not currently available as independent vaccines. And I would think if they were split out, you would just see people getting the vaccinations at a much lower rate. So I don't know that there's a value to doing that, but that's not currently an option. I would share that something our medical community has been working towards is a combined COVID and flu vaccine, which again will increase the levels of vaccinations for these 2 very common and very serious illnesses. And so that's something I hope they continue to work on. We don't have that yet, but it will will certainly raise the number of vaccinated individuals if that is eventually produced.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank you, Kate. Members of the media, any additional questions this afternoon? No more questions? Well, thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you all. Take care.